Давайте начнем. Добрый день еще раз. Меня зовут, как уже сказали, Щербаков Денис Аркадьевич. Это любимое свойство япониста или японца представляться по два раза. Я доцент Высшей школы экономики и приглашенный профессор университета Кёнхи. И вот совместно с Кёнхи мы уже запустили одну бакалаврскую программу «Экономика и политика» в Азии 2 года назад. И сейчас решили открыть магистерскую программу с более углубленным изучением бизнеса в Азии, именно бизнеса в Азии, что позволит студентам получить 2 диплома. Это диплом по направлению зарубежного регионоведения, магистр зарубежного регионоведения университета, Национального исследовательского университета Высшей школы экономики, и MBA Asian Business, то есть магистр менеджмента университета Кёнхи. Сегодня я представлять эту программу буду не один. Со мной сегодня буквально через несколько минут к нам присоединится профессор О. Это соруководитель программы из университета Кёнхи. Он является академическим руководителем программы Keystone Design MBA. На этой программе учатся очень много и китайских студентов, и, разумеется, и корейских, и японских. Программа полностью международная. Значит, на сегодняшний день программа, которую мы создаем, это единственная программа по зарубежному регионоведению с вузом-партнером из Восточной Азии. У нас сбалансированный учебный план, разработанный с учетом опыта ведущих университетов в Азии и в России, это Высшая школа экономики. Университет Кёнхи является лидером в Азии в сфере зарубежного регионоведения. У нас есть возможность выбрать одну из 2 дополнительных специализаций, MBA Asian Business или MA International Relations. У нас особенность нашей программы состоит в том, что 2-й и 3-й семестр студенты проводят в Республике Корея, в Сеуле, или кампусе, или в Суоне, если они выберут международные отношения. А 1-й и 4-й семестр они проводят в НИУ ВШЭ. В результате, по итогам, они получают 2 диплома, как я уже сказал, это диплом магистра НИУ ВШЭ по направлению зарубежное регионоведение и магистра менеджмента в сфере азиатского бизнеса от университета Кёнхи, или, если вы выберете другую специализацию, Master Degree in International Relations, то есть магистр по направлению международные отношения в Азии. Значит, чтобы правильно выбрать программу, наверное, стоит самому себе ответить на 3 простых блока вопросов. Кто вас учит, кто оценивает ваши знания, как вас учат, как учат студентов, да, и чему учат, и вообще зачем это нужно, каковы мои карьерные перспективы. Значит, мы планируем так, что на нашей программе будет работать большинство преподавателей со степенью PhD, это преподаватели университета Кёнхи 37,4%, либо штатные преподаватели Высшей школы экономики, это кандидаты, доктора наук, получившие также степени, имеющие опыт преподавания в зарубежных вузах. То есть, если говорить конкретно, я могу сказать, что у нас будет преподавать Десятников Иван Васильевич, который раньше работал на аналогичной программе в Японии в университете Цукуба. Кутель Ивановна Вячеславовна, которая преподавала в Канаде, китаист. То есть Иван Васильевич – это японист, Кутель Ивановна Вячеславовна – это китаист. И другие преподаватели, то есть специалисты по Корее, по Китаю, по Японии, экономисты, политологи, международники. 6% преподаватели – это преподаватели восточного языка. У нас будет факультатив по восточным языкам по выбору студента, как на начальном уровне, так и на продолжающем уровне. И, естественно, будут представители бизнес-кругов. То есть у нас в НИУ ВШЭ будут представители, например, вице-президент компании Kimberly-Clark по маркетингу, который будет вести соответствующую дисциплину маркетинг, да. Вот. У нас будет представитель Hyundai, который будет вести дисциплину Global Business and Asian Values, да, он глава представительства Hyundai в России. Вот. Ну, естественно, когда вы приедете изучать обучаться в университет Кёнхи, то, разумеется, вы сможете также познакомиться с ведущими преподавателями университета Кёнхи, и также практиков у них очень много. А сейчас я бы хотел передать слово как раз профессору Эндрю О, который соруководитель нашей программы. Профессор О, the floor is yours. Please switch on your mic and please switch on your video. And I will stop the demonstration, okay, and give you the floor. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Щербаков. I hope everyone can hear me, as well as the video feed and the PowerPoint material. Great, successful. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is again Dr. Andrew O, and seasonal greetings from Seoul, Korea. It's approximately 7:30 p.m. here, local time. And I hope everyone is doing well today. Okay. All right, so I would like to start my portion of the presentation today. It regards HSE and Kyongsei University double degree master's program. And I believe, although I do not yet speak Russian, Dr. Щербаков talked about the composition, the progress of this program. The duration of this program is 2 years, which means 4 semesters. The first semester will be taking place at HSE. The second and third semesters will happen at Kyongsei University in Seoul. And the last semester, the 4th semester, will be back at HSE. Okay. All right, so I would like to get into the details of this program. And as a management professor, I would like to remind you that you're going to have certain options when you decide to join this program. So from Kyongsei University, we are going to offer 2 different options. You can either choose to study for the Master of Business Administration. Everyone probably knows that it's MBA degree in Asian business. Or you can also choose to study for master's degree in international relations, MIR. And Kyongsei University mainly has several different locations, campuses, and we have 2 major ones where I'm located. It's Seoul campus. So if you decide to study MBA, then you'll probably see me again. And if you decide to study MIR, then that's going to be close to the city of Seoul. It's located in Suwon area. But regardless of which program you choose to study, you will be experiencing multiple regional and cultural perspectives. And mainly, we're going to be providing 3 different perspectives. One is China, one is Korea, and one is Japan. Okay, so rather than just throwing out all the big advertisement issues of Kyongsei University as a whole, I would like to just briefly introduce my institution. So why Kyongsei University for MBA education? The reason is this. We opened our doors in 1966 as the first graduate level school to install the advanced management program in the entire nation here in Korea. And another very strong point that we are quite proud of is that we value the importance of this industry-based and specialized management education and offer pioneering MBA programs in the areas of consulting service, international business, and so on. So rather than just focusing solely on conventional management tracks or disciplines, we, at the same time, not only on those conservative and conventional values, we also focus on industry-based pragmatic philosophies and skills and values. Rather than just getting right into what we're going to offer you, I would like to start with a very, very tiny, small portion of lecture, but hopefully I won't bore you out. It's this. It's the fundamentals of management education that we adopt at Kyongsei University. This is the foundation, and this is the value philosophy that we have for management education. So it would have been much wonderful if I could have been in Russia and speak with you, communicate with you directly in person. But unfortunately, because of all this coronavirus incidents, I have to do this remotely with you. But still, I'd like to ask you some questions for thought, okay? And well, it might be an easy question, but at the same time, if you think about it, it's a very mind-boggling question, okay? And here it goes. Suppose you are, in fact, interested in management or business. What do you think is the ultimate purpose of management? Okay, so first of all, think to yourself, what is management? And then think about the ultimate goal, the destination for conducting business or management. And in fact, I always ask my students in the beginning of each semester, whatever the discipline may be, of the same question. And probably one of the most common responses that I get is this: to create profit and make lots and lots of money. So think to yourself and ask yourself, is it really the most important purpose of management? Okay, so here's the thing. Management, what is the smallest micro unit of management? Every management starts from an organization. And an organization is made up of people who share the common goals and objectives. So if is a regular, I would say, multinational corporations or for-profit corporations, then okay, yeah, to create profit, to make money, it's okay. But there are so many other types of organizations. As you can see on the screen, there are hospitals, there are NGOs, and hey, there you go, HSE, even schools, universities. Okay, so if you think you're about to manage a hospital, you're about to manage a school, what would be the ultimate goal of managing these kinds of institutions? Probably not to just merely create profit. And what I'm trying to say here is, for all types of organizations, because they are all made of people, there are so many different types of stakeholders who have interest in all those organizations. But the problem is this: they all pursue different values. All stakeholders want different things, and that's what makes business, what makes management so difficult. So I would like to suggest this. Most important purpose of management is actually to maximize stakeholder value. Okay, all right then. Other part is then how are we going to achieve this? And we can do this by doing right things right. And now in terms of management, this is very significant. It may look like a wordplay, but it really means something very significant. Doing right things, that's the effectiveness, that's the end result, outcome that we want. But we not only want to achieve the right things, but we want to do those things the right way. So that's the efficiency, that's the process. So by doing right things right, we want to maximize each stakeholder value. That's the purpose, the ultimate purpose of management that we are trying to do. And we call this responsible management. And I introduced this to you because this is the foundation and very important stepping stone of Kyounghee Management Education. So when you choose to join this program and when you come here and obtain all the knowledge and skills and everything, you'll see that the underlying philosophy will be this: responsible, ethical management. So I'd like to share a brief experience with you, the initial stage of designing our entire program, HSE, Kyounghee University double degree program. An interesting experience, actually, I paid a business trip to HSE back in October 2018. And at that time, I asked for a brief session to meet with the local students. And when I did, the initial response I got was maybe 2 or 3 students would join the session. But it turned out to be there were clearly more than 10 students, very bright, very brilliant HSC students. I really enjoyed them. And we actually had a focus group interview, and I got an opportunity to take a closer look at their mindset. Of course, I asked many different questions because I was new to the Russian culture, and I was deeply interested in what those Russian youngsters thought in terms of management. So my key question was regarding the primary areas of their interest. And believe it or not, the most responses that I got was regarding the discipline of investment, followed by marketing, finance, human resources management, project management, advertisement, and so on. As you can see, even fashion. And well, that's good news, startups. But if you think about it, if it's for undergraduate level, trying to focus on those very independent areas of study under management is important. But what's important is we are trying to think at the master's level. So at this point, I'd like to introduce you to the backbone of MBA education at Kyoto University. So surrounding what's called MBA, we have 4 different philosophies, 4 different very important, I would like to say, building blocks. There are abstract reasoning, systems thinking, collaboration, and last, experimentation. And I hope at some point of time, you've heard of those terminologies. Regarding abstract reasoning, it's a very, very important skill, not only when you study management, but when you study anything else. Abstract reasoning is, to put it simply, construction of a model. And this is very important because you want to be able to secure representation of very complex ideas and concepts. And systems thinking, after this is done, abstract reasoning, you move on to model system elements. And when I say IPO, there are the famous inputs to outputs through process. So rather than just looking at individual trees, you have to be able to look at the entire system, entire forest, and you have to be able to reason. You have to be able to develop all these logics behind the system. The third item is collaboration. As I mentioned earlier, when you do management, especially when we have such a high level of complexity in today's world, no one can do everything by themselves. So in order to achieve something, and especially in terms of business, we need to team up with people sharing similar interests, sharing common goals. So we need to develop ideas with others through critical feedback. The last one is experimentation. Now, this is also very, very important. It's about creating and testing the model. And why is this important? You cannot always expect success. Many, many times in reality, you'll be faced with failures. But what's important is that you have to be willing to take risks. And even further, more important is you have to be able to learn from the failures, the mistakes that you make. So the ability, the skills for experimentation is very, very important for acquiring management skills and knowledge. Afterwards, there were very important considerations for developing our program, especially taking a look at some of the main global trends. When I looked at some of the leading institutions for management education, and you probably have heard of all these big names, MIT, Stanford, Harvard, ENSED in Paris, and all those leading institutions, I was able to, when I took a closer look at them, their curriculum and their system, I was able to take kind of deduce certain patterns. First one is this. There was this high demand for self-led and self-designed learning. So that means not for the entire curriculum. Of course, the students have to be ready. They have to go through certain prerequisites to be able to do independent research at the master's level. But we should be able to offer students after certain criteria are met. The second category, second pattern is minimization or in a similar way, reduction for required prerequisite courses. So conventionally, most of the institutions that offer MBA educations, oftentimes they focus so much on strong background, but it takes such a long time that they kind of omit the pragmatic part of management. Because I mean, it's not always in theory, you have to balance it out with practice. So all leading MBA institutions are maintaining relatively low portion of core, or we're going to call them required courses. So statistically speaking, 30 to 45% of entire curriculum was the core required courses. And in case of us at Kyongsoo University, again, for Keystone MBA program, which is in English, 33% is the proportion of the core courses required for graduation, for getting the degree. The last one is reinforcement of flipped learning and action learning. So what are flipped learning and what and action learning? You do by doing. And flipped learning, it mainly entails discussion, debate, hands-on experience-oriented curriculum, leading to higher student satisfaction compared to repetitive, just case-oriented studies that you just make presentations and so on. So this is the translation and trying to put together all these ideas into our program. So in other words, it's a basic framework of our HSE, Kyongsoo University, double degree MBA program. As I mentioned earlier, the strong foundation, the stepping stone will be responsible management principles. And on top of that, we are going to highlight the important elements of abstract reasoning, systems thinking, experimentation, and collaboration and such. So using these elements, these components, we are going to take an integrative approach of the program. So basically, our master's program, MBA program, will be comprising these categories of learning processes. Core courses, critical thinking seminar, in short, it's going to be CTS. We also are going to offer regional lab series and Keystone Lab Series, and lastly, on-site learning, in other words, internship. And I would like to just briefly explain to you what these mean. Okay, first of all, core. In short, it'll be principles, fundamentals, cohort. So the nature of these core courses are conventional discipline-oriented courses. The focus is to review management theories learned at undergraduate level. What's important is that when we accept the prospective students, of course, maybe the majority of the students may have already obtained management skills and knowledge, but at the same time, there may be students who have not received management education prior to getting to us. So in that case, we need to achieve a sort of equal eye level for new students toward management studies. So then we can go ahead with in-depth discussions and doing self-led coursework. So all core coursework will be offered and completed through HSE. So that means in the first semester, this will be complete. And I also mentioned that this core courses will be done in cohort. So what is a cohort? Cohort is a group with similar traits and characteristics. So during the orientation session prior to first semester, all new students will be assigned to specific cohorts based on student diversity mix, so no background similarities. And what is the point of this? This is to develop and test the students' leadership skills. If you think about it, leadership and of course at the same time followership, they're very important characteristics, virtues of management. But leadership is something that we cannot just simply teach the students. So we help our students develop their own leadership skills individually through various activities. And that will be done through, for example, studying for tests, projects, and the presentations, etc., in the assigned cohorts. So throughout the entire semester, you cannot change this cohort. You belong to this cohort that you're assigned to during the orientation period, and you are stuck with the same group for the entire semester. And of course, you might be happy with your teammates, but at the same time, sometimes you may not be able to, you may not be happy with your teammates, your cohort mates. But here's the reasoning for this. In reality, for example, when you work at a company, not always are you assigned to a team where you like everybody. So you have to deal with how to cope with people that you strongly disagree with or that you don't mesh well together. So you get to practice all these things through cohort. The second one is critical thinking seminar, CTS. And it entails aggressive flip learning or action learning. So reinforced discussion, debate, and hands-on. So the focus is these: encourage critical and analytical thinking, experience a wide range of hands-on learning, exercise, again, leadership skills, and apply classroom learning to real-world management challenges. Third item is regional lab series. And again, our program adopts 3 different perspectives: Korea, China, and Japan. So as a regional MBA program focusing on Asia, students must choose to concentrate on a specific region among Korea, China, and Japan to obtain the degree. And we're going to call them, the coursework, regional labs. Now, regional labs adopt flipped learning as well as self-designed learning. So at some point of time, you get to design your own coursework under the category of regional labs. And I'll show you some examples later on as far as the curriculum is concerned. The fourth one is our exclusive Keystone Lab Series coursework. The Keystone Lab courses are highly flexible and integrated, where students are encouraged to take their initiative and leadership, self-developing individual course of action for solutions to given sets of social phenomena and issues, okay? So our community is what we live and learn. Seoul is our community, and our community is our laboratory. With countless business leaders based in or traveling to Seoul, you'll learn as much as outside the classroom as in the classroom, sometimes even by just exploring the city. Excuse me for a second. Okay, so let me quickly skip to, let's see, what we try to kind of consider or reflect through our curriculum. There are some key issues for global business through big data, and there's famous Hallyu, and unfortunately, the era of new normal after coronavirus incident. So, combined all these items together, these are the curriculum. The coursework for HSC, KHU, Kyung University, double degree MBA curriculum. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to go into the details. I'm sure you'll be provided with the details. So later on, when you have a chance, you'll be able to take a look at these in detail. Okay, so here is the suggested roadmap to MBA degree, and at the same again, it'd be nice if you can just take a look at this in detail. So I would like to pose some final questions for thought, and nearsighted, you can of course think about what are my career perspectives, but what's even more important, you have to take a look at the long term. How are you going to operate and manage your own life? And what is your vision? And how do you plan to contribute to your society and make it a better world to live in? And hopefully, our new program, this double degree MBA program, can help you answer these questions and find meaning in your life. Well, thank you very much for listening. Okay, thank you very much.